fingers on the dial. Static hums and buzzes, voices cut the silence. Truth ain't taking pauses. We the people Wednesday, speak loud, speak clear. Screech owls calling, Red's got your ear.
We the People Wednesday will begin in just a few short minutes, folks. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you still have time to jump over to the VIP Backstage Lounge at rippandrabbithole.com. If you are listening on demand, go ahead and fast forward to about the 3-minute mark and you will jump into tonight's live show. Stay tuned, folks. Show starts soon.
Headlights chasing dreams. The rip-on rabbit hole ain't as crazy as it seems. Ain't no polished lines, just hearts and fire. We the people Wednesday, speak loud, speak clear. Screech owls calling, Red's got your...
Rippin' Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests, are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Rippin' Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
Fire Department, stand by for a public service call.
Ain't no polished lines, just hearts and fire. We the people Wednesday.
Field Fire Department, respond to the address.
Screech owls watching. Red's got the wheel. Eyes wave in the static.
Good evening and welcome to We the People Wednesday. It is Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. I am Screech Owl Scott.
And I am Red.
And we want to thank you, our co-hosts, for joining us right here on Rippin' Common Sense Radio, where your voice will be heard around the world as we discuss hot topics, recent news, and new developments. If you've dialed up We the People Wednesday, congratulations. You can now declare yourself one of the We the People people. If you're listening on Rumble or over on YouTube, please give We the People a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so that you will receive notifications each and every time we go live. If you want to join the We the People conversation, hop on over to rippandrabbithole.com, click on the 24/7 tab in the taskbar, scroll down until you see the backstage, click on the big red Enter Now button, allow the permissives, and join the fun. The Backstage Lounge is free and always will be. It's a great place to meet new friends and talk about anything that you want to. And we can speak from experience when we say that you will often find We the People deep into the early AM hours. That's rippandrabbithole.com. rippandrabbithole.com. There are just a very few simple rules. If you want to speak, please raise your hand, and we do ask that you remain respectful to others at all times. But most of all, have fun, because this is a show for We the People. And I think Red put a link to the Rippin' Rabbit Hole VIP Backstage Lounge
In both Rumble and on YouTube.
So if you feel compelled that you want to have your voice heard, click on that link and it's going to bring you right back to where you can join Flippin' Rippin' Rob, Keeter, Amanda, RJ, Catherine, Wetzel, AJ the Rippin' Rabbit, maybe back here. I'm not sure, but come on back
Studio
and
B as well.
join the fun. Well, Red,
Absolutely.
we're back on our regular scheduled nights this week, Wednesday and Thursday. Last week, Thursday, we were dark. We celebrated our oldest grandson's graduation.
Yes, and it was pretty emotional.
And
Yes,
Grandma cried, Grandpa
of
didn't.
course.
Grandpa was happy. He knows it's just this is something we expect our grandchildren to do, is to go get their high school diploma, and nothing. I mean, it's a milestone for him, but it's
Absolutely.
just the start. He has to keep learning, and
I can't wait to watch
we'll see where his future takes him. I'm
Yeah.
excited to watch
where the
him
future brings him.
grow in from the toddler when I first met him. I think he was like 3 or 4 years old when we first met,
Hmm.
and grown into a young man now. So anyway, looking forward to seeing where his grandson Caden goes with his future.
Absolutely.
I think good things are in store for him.
I believe there is too.
Something happened,
Uh,
Red.
It's still sharing on my.
Okay, I'm not gonna mess with it.
Can everybody else see
We got
the screen?
we've got a boogeyman in the house or something. You may have. I'm getting a thumbs up from Amanda.
Okay.
I'm not sure what happened there on my screen. I'm not seeing it, so I'm just gonna roll the dice that we're being seen.
Yes.
Uh,
If at any time you don't see it, please let us know.
So you may have heard the call, some emergency call in the during the promo music or the music coming in, and I want you to know that I was working with AJ the Rippin' Rabbit to iron out some technical difficulties that we've had with some volume, and he turned me on to a website that I can go to and listen to the scanners basically. And
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
realize that was still playing, so we were getting a call for the fire department to respond somewhere. So hopefully it's nothing major happening in town here.
Absolutely.
So Red, we had an interesting week. Did we do anything over the weekend?
Um,
I don't think so.
I
I don't think we had
we did.
anything. We did help. They're not in the backstage tonight. We did
Yep.
help Corey and
that was
and
on Friday.
Tommy because
Yes.
the Mercantile opens tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
I'll get
right.
over-
Is it tomorrow or Friday?
I think so. I think tomorrow.
That's probably why they're not back here.
We'll get over there and make an ad
They
for
could
them.
have turned us on and listened.
They
though.
might be doing that. Maybe they're listening on one of the other platforms.
That could be.
In any event, so we didn't have anything going on over the weekend other than folks in Wisconsin. The nomination papers were due on June 1st. And then there's I'm going to try and get you up to speed on what happened.
Yes.
So June 1st, the nomination papers are due.
And that's when you can
And then there's
look at them.
And right, that's when we can look at them. And I can tell you, the Wisconsin Election Commission has put like a 2-point authentication for us to look at nomination papers.
Yeah, it took me 20 minutes. Get that, 20 minutes. Just to figure out how to get that second authorization
jump
factor
through
in.
some hoops and simply to look at the nomination papers.
Yep.
Something that they don't have on the MyVote platform.
Still can go on there and just pop on in, no username and password.
So
but I had to do that on the other site.
So clearly, the Wisconsin Election Commission has the ability to put some safeguards in.
Yeah,
Why they haven't
just
done it yet,
choose
I don't
not
know.
to.
But in any event, we were able to get in and see the nomination papers. And this is where I'm going to back up a little bit. And the reason we wanted to look at the nomination papers, and I'm so tired of the crap that I see that I'm just gonna call out names in this case.
Yep.
And this will be a show all in and of itself because it's important for people to understand what's happening at the county level. But it was brought to our attention that Scott Bolstad, who is the chair of the Eau Claire County GOP,
Yes.
Was soliciting nomination
Signature papers, yes,
for-
at the office.
for the Secretary of State candidates.
Yes.
And it was brought to our attention that he returned some of them to the candidates so that they could submit them.
Right.
But when he returned them, one of them was full, but he had scratched off
All but
Two
two
names?
or three.
And
I think it was 3 on the one and 2 on the other. The one did not even have a signature on the bottom, so you can't use it. And then I can't remember how many were on the other candidates. I think all of them, but 2 or 3 as well.
Okay, so basically what had happened was he had taken the liberty to cross off names off the nomination papers,
And
of 2 of the candidates.
Yes. And that was the reason why we wanted to look at
All of them.
Yes.
What started out, we just wanted to look at the nomination papers because I had suspicions that this county chair was determining on his own who these people meant to sign for.
Yep. And they were definitely duplicate signatures on all, well, at least the three papers, candidates we seen. The fourth candidate did not have any from Scott Bolstead.
Okay, so that's what we wanted to find out, though. We wanted to find out the name scratched off. Did they appear on the candidate that he favors? Because Scott,
and what date the person may have signed if they signed more than one.
Okay, so for the record, folks, Scott Bolstead and his wife signed the nomination papers for Nate Polnow.
Yep.
Now, they signed his nomination papers indicating that they are supporting his candidacy.
Correct.
And they were collecting nomination signatures for him.
Yes.
And he scratched off names off of two other candidates' nomination forms and allowed them to stay on Nate Polnow's
Correct.
sheet. Now, I don't know if this is technically illegal, but it's highly unethical.
Very unethical.
And it lacks integrity.
And there was at least 2 or 3 signatures on one page that the person had signed that paper that he crossed off the day before the ones that he left on Nate Polnow's.
And that's going to be another show because we have to expose the crap that's happening at the county level, right?
Yep.
So that's going to be a show in and of itself. But that was the reason that we said, let's look at everybody's nomination papers.
Absolutely.
It's the one race where there are contested. It's an open seat on the Republican side.
Right.
There are 4 candidates.
Yep.
So let's just, as long as you went through the hoops of getting into to see the nomination papers, something that Harry didn't have to do.
Nope.
You did it, and you jumped through the hoops, had access to all the nomination papers. We said, let's print them all. Let's print them all, and let's just start looking for anything.
And yes, we
fishy going on.
did print them all. Every single page. That's a lot of pages, people.
And we started...
A lot of ink.
We started looking at the nomination papers for anything funky.
Yep.
Now,
and I will say that I did this on June 1st. I printed them off, so I could take them with that night, because we went down and spent the night in Elkhorn, so we could go to Harry's sentencing the next day. And when I looked at some of these papers, I was like, this just doesn't look right. So I didn't say anything to anybody, but that night at the hotel, I had asked 2 people to look at them, just if anything stands out. The first person looked at them and said, wait a minute, these look like the same person signing all these signatures. I said, well, that's what I wanted to know, is if you noticed it or if it was just me looking at it and was like, what? So.
Okay, but so I want to take this one step further, Red. We looked at all 4 candidates' nomination papers for Secretary of State.
Yes, we did.
And we looked at everything because in Wisconsin, there are statutes that dictate what columns have to be filled out.
How they have to be filled out.
Yeah, it's
what a candidate can correct.
It's very specific. Yes, and candidates do have the ability to change things. But, by state statute, things like abbreviations for cities are not acceptable.
And it's in the state statute.
Ditto marks are not acceptable.
But I noticed on the back of the page, how when you get the circulator pages, there's that second page that's the instructions. On the instructions, it claims you can use ditto marks. But in the state statute, it says you cannot.
And it would be just like WEC.
Yep.
To look at a state law and interpret it a different way and make up their own rules.
Right.
Okay, it would be just
that's
like them to do that.
That's never happened before. Come on.
But as we started looking, folks, some people say that Screech Owl Scott was just being ticky-tacky and really fishing for things. But you know what? I I think it's time that we, when I drive down the highway,
Hmm.
there are these big white signs that'll say like 70 miles an hour,
Right.
45 miles an hour, whatever.
Hmm.
And I'm obligated to adhere to that speed limit.
Yep.
If
Follow the
if
law.
I don't, I'm breaking the law and I'm
Correct.
subject to being fined.
Right.
And I think these laws that are written for WEC to have direction on how these forms have to be filled out, I think it's time we start holding them to their feet to the fire and saying, you know what, if this is the law, then let's adhere to the law.
Well, isn't that what they did to Harry?
Exactly.
So isn't it fair game?
So so call me ticky tacky, call me whatever you want.
Yep. Don't care.
I don't care about names anymore.
Nope.
I said, you know what? We're going to challenge them. So we looked closer at every single candidate.
Just so you know, Keeter says those are just suggested speed limits. Okay.
Well, not for me. I will tell you, Keeter, that I've been driving for almost 50 years now, and I've never had a moving violation, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Right.
But in any event, we looked very closely at the candidates.
Yep.
In Wisconsin, for the Secretary of State race, you have to have a minimum of 2,000 signatures to gain ballot access.
Correct.
And we looked at all of them, and I'm happy to report that Jay Schrader
Mm-hmm.
and Braden Meyer
Mm-hmm. Followed the rules
very closely.
very closely. They did
and
have a couple that
a couple.
that WEC crossed off.
They had-
Not
and,
us
and we
catching.
didn't find anything glaring. We didn't find missing marks or repetitive or abbreviations. We didn't see funky signatures.
Nope.
We didn't see any of that.
no. So I'll give both of them a lot of credit for doing what was
So
right.
to their campaigns, good on you. You did it the
Bravo.
right way. You followed the law. You followed the rules that are spelled out very clearly on these sheets,
Absolutely.
and you did it right.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you, folks, the other two.
Oh, yeah.
So
It was bad.
Nate Polnow, who is the RPW endorsed candidate for this position,
And obviously they're
on what
darling
on
candidate.
what grounds I don't know, but he had a ton, folks, a ton of.
I don't even know how many pages the complaint was anymore.
No,
the complaint itself.
I know, but
Okay.
So folks, we don't do this often,
No, we don't.
but tonight I'm going to turn on the camera just briefly. You're not going to have to look at us for long, but I
Nope.
want to show you. I filed 2 challenges. I filed challenges to the nomination signatures of Nate Polnow, the RPW endorsed candidate.
Which, by the way, ended up with the least amount of signatures after WEC pulled their stuff.
And Cindy Werner. And I'm going to tell you, folks, I don't have anything against either one of these candidates.
No.
I support any candidate willing to go out and do the work to get their name put on a ballot.
Absolutely.
But I also think we have to adhere to the law.
Exactly. And like I said before, look what they did to Harry, and it's their rules, their laws, whatever. And they're going to complain about this.
Well, we can't allow them to pick and choose when the laws are going to be followed and when they're not.
That's my point.
And we're going to get deeper into what laws were violated, and some of them more serious than others.
Right. And I will say that those 2 candidates that did follow the rules want to abolish WEC. The other 2 candidates, the one, Darling, that's endorsed, does not care about abolishing WEC. I don't know about Cindy Warner, I'll be honest.
And I can tell you, folks, that Nate Polnow is very serious about the fact that we can't do hand counting of ballots either.
No.
We've got to have the machine.
You have to have the machine.
So I guess that I do have a few things against Nate Polnow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But it wasn't fair of me to attack just one of these candidates.
No.
If there are 2 of them who are skirting around the rules, then I'm going to call them both out.
Right.
And I'm going to hold WEC's feet to the fire. Okay, so we don't do this often, folks. We are going to turn on the camera briefly, ever so briefly, because as you know, I have a face for radio.
No, so do I, so don't worry.
All right, but I want to show
good, I'm
you
hiding.
what 2 challenges and a ton of work
Oh, yeah.
means.
and what it looks like.
All right, folks, here we go. The camera's coming on briefly. There's Red, and I'm wearing my cowboy hat. I'm going to hold up a stack of papers. This is how much work, if you can see that, went in to 2 challenges, and I'm telling you, this was done thoroughly.
Very, very, very thoroughly.
Very thoroughly. And
line by line.
we didn't miss a thing.
Page by page.
We spelled out what line number were in violation.
And what was wrong.
And what was wrong.
And we also included, or I didn't, Scott did it, also included the state statute that it violated.
And we submitted them to WEC on...
We had
Friday afternoon.
Yes.
They had to be in by 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon, and I think finally it went in. We got the second one in about 4 o'clock.
Yes.
On our way to our grandson's graduation.
So it was Thursday. They
Oh,
had to be in by Thursday.
Okay. In any event, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
We submitted them, and I emailed WEC because I wanted a verification that they had received
By 5 o'clock.
that amount of work by 5 p.m., their deadline. And when I spoke to the gentleman at WEC, he said, I did receive your email, but it's a sizable download. And
well, the one was a sizable.
And it's still downloading. Yeah, one was bigger than the other. I will say that.
Yep.
But I can tell you, folks, that in this stack of paper were enough violations that should have removed 2 candidates for Secretary of State.
Absolutely.
Should have. Now I'm going to do the favor of turning off the cameras so that you don't have to look at us for the next hour.
Sounds good.
But that is the challenge that was filed, and like I said, it was very thorough.
Very. Absolutely.
And got the email that WEC had received them about 8 o'clock that night, probably when the download finished, because aside from the stuff that you saw that was printed, there were also 225 pages or more, maybe 300 pages for the one.
So Keter's asking, so that's your paperwork for one violation or a large number of violations? That is for both candidates.
Two candidates, numerous violations.
Correct.
And that did not include, because we also downloaded, although they would have access to them, we wanted them in email, so we uploaded all the nomination papers so that in this docket of paper, this ream of paper, they could see, okay, we have to look at
this page,
page
line.
10, line 3, whatever.
And RJ says, thank you for your work holding them accountable. You're welcome.
So what happens, folks, is we submitted those papers, and then the candidates had until
Sunday night
at 5 o'clock.
Yep, to respond.
To respond to our challenge.
Correct.
And both candidates responded. And
Cindy Warner's was first.
I'm not going to bore you with what was said, but so again,
I will bore you with what one of them said, because I'm going to go back to those pages that I had shown people that it appears alleged forgery. Okay. Cindy's response was she assumes that it was possibly somebody filling out the paperwork for family members.
Right. Now these candidates, because we sat through the meetings, or the hearing, if you will.
Yep.
Many of these candidates who had things challenged, they went out and they got signed affidavits from so-and-so saying that, yes, I did this on such and such a day.
Yep.
Cindy didn't do that. Cindy was very vague in her response.
Correct.
I will say that.
Yep.
And like you said, it was...
She did get affidavits from, 2 of the circulators collecting signatures. But that does not prove that those people were the ones that actually signed.
So we received a rebuttal, and Mr. Polnow kind of, And I'm going to tell you, call it ticky-tacky, call it whatever you want. In the case of Mr. Polnow, it was misspelling. So we did submit one challenge for every sheet that was turned in because he spelled secretary wrong.
So do you want somebody representing the state of Wisconsin as Secretary of State that can't even spell secretary?
Now, I didn't expect WEC
No.
to throw out all of his signatures because of
No,
that typo.
no,
But
not
there were
absolutely.
many pages, folks, where it was either on every page secretary was spelled wrong.
Right.
There was question about his declaration of candidacy because his name appeared different on his declaration of candidacy than it would have appeared on his nomination forms.
Right.
The municipality style that he lived in changed from page to page.
Yep. He had both of them, depending on what page you looked at.
And then you got into the more serious things like
Dates.
dates that were outside the window for collecting nomination papers.
Yep.
There were dates
Some dates that the circulator would sign the paper, and then you would see some signatures after that date, which you can't have.
Right. The circulator cannot sign until they're ready to turn them in. So
Correct.
no signatures should appear on that list after the date that the circulator signs it.
Correct.
Uh,
And we've seen a lot of abbreviated towns, like EC for
Eau
Eau
Claire.
Claire, MKE for Milwaukee.
Now
It clearly states in the statute that you have to spell it out.
and it
initials.
It also, so folks, just so you understand how it works in Wisconsin, the candidate has the right to cure those before they turn them in. So
Correct.
if it said
MKE.
MKE or EC, they had the right to fill that in and write Milwaukee or write Eau Claire,
Right.
write Stevens Point, whatever it is.
Mhm.
They have the ability to do that. They have the ability to check to look it up and check the township or the municipality style. They can complete any field except for the signature line
And the name,
and the name, the printed name.
the printed name.
They can't change that, but they can help fill out the remainder.
Correct.
But these two, neither one of them did it. They
And
let,
not to mention the quotations. Like if it was a husband and wife lived at the same address, you're not supposed to put a ditto mark for address and the date and all that.
so
But apparently on the back of the form where it explains how to fill these out, it says there you can use it. So which one is correct? The actual statute or whatever they have written on the back of that page?
and this is where we need to hold WEC's feet to the fire. Like I said, we
Mhm.
can't allow them to change the rules, change the way the statute is written to fit their
Narrative,
benefit
yep.
or what they want to do.
Right. Absolutely.
You and I can't go out and change the speed limit on the sign and say, no, we just don't like that one.
Well, some people do, but
let's
they don't
alter
get
it.
away with it.
So we submitted this. They offered a response,
Mhm.
sometimes very vague. And in Nate Polnow's case, I think I was saying, he said, well, it's just a typo. Well, this just a typo is, like Red said, from
Mhm.
a man seeking the Secretary of State. Think of the responsibilities this man is going to have, and he's misspelling words. He's not following directions.
Yep.
Very
So,
very simple directions.
so they would be just misspelled words or misspelled this or I just missed to dot that I, or I forgot to put the date in.
And
or-
I'm sorry, but if he's elected to
Yeah.
that position, he's going to be doing things where a misspelled word, mispunctuation
Mhm.
can make a
Or
big
a
difference.
date. Yep.
Can
or
make
a
a
date.
huge difference.
Absolutely. And then on Cindy Warner's, looking at, okay, so she turned in her set of papers, her first set. And after WEC looked at those first set, there was not enough signatures for her to be on the ballot.
And she had come in, it was like 1,683 is what WEC
I can't even
determined
remember,
she had. It
to
was
be honest.
under 1,700.
So then,
That was on the 29th.
correct. And then she brought in a second set on, I believe it was the first. which is the deadline.
Okay, very quickly. We'll come back to that.
Pause.
Hold your thought.
Right. Yep.
We'll come back to that. I don't have a whole lot to say. Right now, we're not writing letters for Harry.
No.
Harry's a free man, although a convicted felon, and that will go on.
Yeah.
But folks,
not done yet.
what I want to tell you, this is the most important thing I can tell you at this break is, please tune in tomorrow night. I'm not going to tell you who my guest is going to be.
No.
But what I can tell you is that he is going to bring it.
And it's just as important as last week, but in a different subject.
And I'm telling you, folks, your head will explode when you hear what this man is going to share with us tomorrow night.
I know when we learned about it, my blood, well, your blood pressure really went up. My anxiety went up, thinking, yeah, I can't say anymore. You'll have to
please
tune
tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for Tin Hat Thursday. Tin hats are optional tomorrow night because what's coming are truth bombs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And folks, I'm telling you, your head is going to want to explode, and you better have something to bring your blood pressure down a little bit because you're going to be pissed off.
I think is a mild way to put it.
Very bluntly. So
yes.
We hope that you'll tune in tomorrow night.
It'll make you sick.
So
maybe have a bucket next to you.
For our very special guest that's going to rattle everything you think right now. It's just going to change everything you think about. That's enough of a teaser. I hope people are going to come back and listen.
You don't know how bad I want to blurt it out, but I can.
No, because I'll have to punch you in the belly, Red.
Yep.
All right. Other than that, Red.
You wouldn't actually punch me.
No, I would. No, I would never. Oh God, I shouldn't have said that.
No.
That's like throwing a target on somebody's head, Red.
I know, right?
No, I'm not going to punch my wife in the belly. I would never do that.
No.
Other than that,
Friday is AJ, the Rippin' Rabbit with Rippin' Rabbit Live. Do you know his subject? I did not.
He wasn't absolutely sure Friday. We'll probably be listening to it on our way home because we're going to be up in the UP.
Yes, we will be.
Dear friend of the show, Anita lost her mother a couple weeks ago, and the celebration of life is taking place on Friday. So we're going to
get up very early.
Drive up to Ironwood, Michigan, and be there to support our dear friend Anita who lost her mother. And
yes.
So hold Anita in your prayers and her family.
And
All
then
right.
Sunday is at 10:30 in the morning, backstage only, 2 or more gathering.
Okay.
And we are still in John.
Okay.
Which is amazing.
Yes. All right, Red. You were saying, and I think you were talking about the signatures that looked
awfully strange.
Also,
you know, and I showed it to several people. And are you putting up? Oh yeah.
I'm going to put up a picture.
I want people's feedback about these signatures because, you know, I looked at them again today to print some off for the show again, because when I printed them off the first time, I didn't notice it was in black and white, but we printed them off in color this time because then you can see the red marks from WEC where they circle whatever. Well, mind you that when they did these papers, and they're all by the same person, the circulator, by the way, all 10 of them is like a big huge square over all of them, and right in the middle is a big red question mark. But they still counted them.
The red square and the question mark are very faint, and you might have a hard time actually seeing them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide a picture in, and this is one of them that triggered us to look more closely.
Yep.
At some of the signatures. Now, as you can see, folks, and I'm going to tell you, I did submit some of these to a handwriting analyst.
Yes.
This morning, and he wouldn't go on record because he wants to look at the originals to go on record. But he did tell me, where did I put it? Right here.
Nope, that's not it.
Where did I put it, Red?
Is it this?
I don't think so. No. Oh, darn it. And anyway, he did offer he
We
did
have so many
offer
dang
something.
papers here.
Yeah, well, I've got like 3 reams of paper sitting around. He did offer his initial thought on this, and he said, like in this one, it's his opinion that the same person, uh, and what I don't have that I was going to read to you, it is he pointed out what letters and what numbers have similarities, but this is the most glaring, and this is one of them that he said it is his professional opinion that
Yep. And we got, wow, they allowed those signatures.
the
And the next one, the A.
the A, and
Yep.
and in this case the A was one of them. They're the same up and down this list, and this is one of those where Cindy said, well, maybe a family member filled
Yep.
it out,
Yep.
and everybody else they just signed it. But as you can see, the signature line, which is the first line on the left, this is where the candidate can't do anything. The
Correct.
circulator can't do anything.
Correct.
This has got to be the person whose name it is signs that piece of paper.
Exactly.
And the gentleman that I submitted this to said it is his professional opinion that everything, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 written columns were all filled in
By the same
by the same person.
Now, mind you, if you count all of these signatures from this particular circulator, you're talking 320 signatures.
Now, before Red goes on, I don't know if you can see my mouse tracking this or not. You will see a light red line that goes around all of them.
And then you can see
and then right in the middle,
Yep.
right here where my mouse is, if you can see it, it's on line 4, right next to the printed name. You will see
the
what
red
looks like a part
question mark.
of a heart, but that's actually a red question mark. That was put there by the WEC personnel who
Mhm.
went through these pages, page by page.
And
and
then
up
if
in
you
the-
look at the upper right-hand corner, the little red 10, that's how many
That's-
signatures they counted.
That's how many they accepted.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to tell you, aside from the questionable handwriting that suggests that somebody wrote a bunch of names on here.
Now, hang on. When we had the meeting yesterday for with WEC to decide, are these going to be thrown out? Are they going to keep them? Whatever. Mind you, nobody told us, maybe it was our dumb, we should have had that handwriting expert before the meeting so they could testify. But I assumed by looking at them, I mean, you could tell. First of all. Second of all, isn't that WEC's job to figure that part out?
In hindsight,
I guess not.
In hindsight, we would have had the handwriting analyst
Ahead of
prepare
time.
something
Right.
and sign the affidavit and present that with my testimony yesterday.
So that's our mistake. But like I said,
Live
I
and
assumed.
learn, right?
Well,
Red?
I mean, I didn't think you would really need an expert.
So,
but we'll get to that.
So let me tell you folks, on this form, aside from the handwriting being very similar across 5 columns of written, the second column from the left, which is the
MKE.
municipality that you reside in, that you vote in, MKE is not an acceptable response by state statute.
Correct.
That has to be it. Now
Well,
I know.
Not to mention, look up in the candidate section where it says MKE. That's supposed to be spelled out Milwaukee as well.
Yes. So by state statute, this entire page, all 10 names, should have been invalid for a number of reasons.
Correct. And well, let's see, is this one? Yep.
Now,
okay.
The only other thing, and I kind of listening to WEC, the commissioners of WEC yesterday, is, they say, well, if we can make out the first letter of a name, we'll let it slide. It's really, really vague on what they'll let go. But
Keter, just wait. We're not done yet.
So anyway, this entire sheet should have been
Invalid.
labeled invalid. none of
Correct.
these signatures should have counted.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and we'll bring that up in a little bit. But
Yeah.
so, folks, we had identified in the case of both of these candidates, we had identified enough signatures that it would have removed them from the ballot or
Both
would
of
have
them.
prevented them from having ballot access.
Correct.
Now, I'm going to show you this sheet, and I want you to think about this sheet because I sat through my hearing yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and the way these hearings work is the WEC attorney will get up and they will share their side of what their beliefs were.
Well, and mind you, at 11 p.m. on Monday night, we got another email from them, which looks like what their determination is. And it went line by line, and there was comments whether it was the challenge was met or it was not met. Okay? They did specify alleged forged, alleged forgery. I don't remember how exactly it was worded. And it was hard to print off that spreadsheet. Nothing would show up right. So they had basically already determined what they were going to do.
Right. So
beforehand.
they spelled it out for the commissioners what the complaint or what the challenge was,
Mm-hmm.
and what their response was after reviewing the challenge.
So then come Tuesday morning, you can go on with what you were saying when I believe it was the attorneys they were explaining the process.
Yes, the WEC attorneys would explain really the challenge,
Mm-hmm.
how they viewed the challenge, and then how they responded. And they made a point to say that mine took a while because there were for Nate Polno, I'm not kidding you. I mean, I made somebody do a lot of work. I really did.
Yeah,
and to their credit, went through every single line. Now they did determine that I had not met the criteria for
almost all of them. There were a few on both of them they did.
So at the end of the day, folks, and I received this.
This is later Tuesday.
Yes, so this was after they had made their decision. Initially, Nate Polnow had 2,167 signatures. They accepted 189 of my challenges, which dropped him below the threshold to be on the ballot. It gave him 1,978. And then
he had some supplemental.
He had some supplemental nomination forms.
Which I didn't see when I went back to look.
And they accepted all but 9 of them, so it put him just over the threshold. So
so he had the least amount of signatures.
The RPW endorsed candidate for Secretary of State who doesn't think that spelling is important.
Or following the rules.
And doesn't believe that we can get rid of machines, believes that we can't hand count, that it's just not feasible.
Maybe he can't count.
He had the least amount of accepted nomination signatures.
At 2,086. So 86 of those had WEC gone by the rules that they have in place and that the state of Wisconsin has in place, he would have not been on the ballot. 86. He made it by 86 signatures.
So in the case of Cindy Warner, she submitted 2,219 signatures.
By the way, she submitted 3 sets of signatures. Okay, not just the initial. Excuse me.
Then some supplementals.
And then there was a second set of supplemental.
Okay, so she initially turned in 1,600 and some change.
Yes.
And then her supplementals totaled almost 600. So between April 15th and May 29th, she collected 1,600 signatures.
Hold on. Not May 29th. May 31st. Because she brought in the last set.
I know, but
okay.
But she brought the 1,600 in on the 29th.
Okay, my bad.
And they said, you didn't make it, Cindy. So then then in 2 additional days, she found 600 more.
Yeah.
Including pages like you see on the screen right now.
Yep. And mind you, this circulator, not one page is in the original set, which I find pretty interesting.
Okay, so now we're making allegations about, and that's all they are.
Yep.
I'm not a handwriting
Expert.
analyst. You aren't.
No.
I did speak to someone who is, who claims that he gave me his belief, but it was not a paid situation. He gave me this one free.
Yes.
So maybe a paid.
Maybe if we actually
if
pay
I
him
if
that,
I had paid, it would have been a much more
report.
in-depth
And-
report.
Yeah.
But
And-
because we're beyond the point of challenge anymore.
I don't know. Keter asked, so can the signatures be challenged at a higher level at this point, or is it done? Well,
We'll get to,
just wait. We're not done yet.
We'll get to that one, Keter, because there's more to this than what meets the eye as well.
Oh yeah.
But before we go on, so yesterday I presented my case. Then they were both offered the opportunity to respond to what I had said. Cindy did. Nate
didn't
pulled
show up.
now because the WEC had sent this email out late Sunday night saying, "No,
you're okay.
You're okay. You've got 2,089."
So he didn't show up.
He didn't bother to respond to my challenge.
And of course, Mr. Screech has to ask if he could take Nate's 5 minutes
Wait,
too,
what?
and they kind of were stunned and were like, "What?"
But-
He goes, "I'm kidding."
I'm gonna
They
play.
didn't like it.
I'm gonna play a video. So, folks, I don't think too highly of the folks at WEC. Never have. Probably never will.
But I will give her this a little tiny bit of credit here. Tiny bit.
Very little.
At the beginning, not the end.
I've got to find it, Red.
Oh, come on.
All right, folks. I'm going to play a video. So now this is Ann Jacobs, who is
Chair.
she was the chairperson of this committee who met yesterday, and she was running the meeting. And this was after I had spoken about the challenges for Cindy Werner, and after Miss Werner had the opportunity to address the committee. And this is what Ann Jacobs, the chair, said.
I have to point out that there was not expert testimony on handwriting, which we are not handwriting experts. But I gotta tell you, starting with about page 219 of these papers, they are sketchy. And I think, boy, 219 to 224, 226, 231, 232, 233. There's real issues there. It has been our...
Before I let her go on, I will say she listed about 8 sheets, and I can assure you that it was
much
more than that. But that's what she listed.
practice to not void signatures based on our gut assumptions, because we have always believed that that would open the door to some significant... We'd have challenges on every signature. But just gotta say. All right. There is a...
Okay, so before I let this play out, because I am going to let her finish her 1 minute yet coming, but this is the chair of this committee.
Yep.
Saying,
And she's an attorney.
these were some sketchy things here on these pages, 219 through 224 and 231, and she listed some of the sheets,
Yeah.
and this was sure sketchy. But we're not accustomed, we don't
We're
throw
not
out
handwriting.
names
Yeah,
because
we're
of
not
our
handwriting analysts.
gut, because that could open the floodgates of people challenging if they do that.
But
And then
you've seen the paper.
And then
And you guys, there's a few people that commented in the backstage what they thought about that one paper. And mind you, there were several papers.
At this point, I was holding out hope that somebody from this commission was going to say, let's just tap on the brakes. Let's tap on the brakes.
Maybe we should get a handwriting expert to look at these.
Let's get the expert. Let's pay the expert to look at these sheets to find out if something fishy is going on. So we don't have to react to a gut feeling and open the floodgates. But it appears that someone may have broken the law here,
Yeah.
a very serious law. And when
Yeah,
you saw,
and they did specify at the beginning of the meeting, when circulator signs those papers, you are committing a felony by this state statute if you sign this paper knowingly seeing falsification on these pages.
folks, that's a felony.
Felony.
That's like what Harry Waite was convicted of for exposing a flaw in their damn system.
Exactly.
And you heard the chair of this committee suggesting that this looks awful sketchy to me,
But
let's do this instead. And this was what happened
Recommended
next.
motion on this one for page 29. I don't know if anyone wants to make that motion.
I'll move it.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Millis, seconded by Commissioner Bostelman. Is there further discussion on that motion and clarifying the motions found at page 29 of our materials? Is there further discussion on this one? Hearing none, I will.
Now, maybe that would have been the time she offered a discussion. Maybe that would have been the time for Sleepy Spindell to say, hey, maybe we should hire somebody and look at it. Or
Right.
any of the other commissioners. We had a first, we had the second.
And mind
she-
you, the motion they're talking about is on the line on the spreadsheet that they sent to us, approving the signatures.
Call the vote. Commissioner Spindell.
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Commissioner Bostelman.
Aye.
Commissioner Millis.
Aye.
Commissioner Riepel.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Finding of 2,219 valid signatures, this person will be considered for ballot access when we make that motion.
2,219. And I can tell you, folks, there were at least, and you heard, what,
320.
but that's for the other reason.
Okay.
You heard her list,
Mhm.
six or seven page numbers.
That's the ones that she numbered, and then she stopped.
Where they were sketchy.
Mhm.
That's 70 names, folks, or 80 names. And we can identify a couple more sheets
Oh, yeah.
than what she just listed right now. So we can probably list 100 names
for the
for that reason. For
yes, for this specific reason.
For
yes.
sketchy signatures.
Yes.
Which would have dropped that number even further.
Right.
But then, folks, because we're not the whole thing stinks to high heaven, because and I can't help but think of my friend Harry Waite, because
Absolutely.
and I'm not saying that it was Weck who said let's press charges on Harry Waite. I'm not sure what role they played in that, but
Well,
it's like we
beg to
pick and
differ on
choose which
law
acts
too.
which laws that were broken that we're going to charge people with, and they charged my friend Harry Waite with a felony and convicted the man.
Right.
Harry can't vote.
No.
Harry can't collect nomination papers,
No,
can
he cannot.
As a convicted felon.
Correct. He cannot.
So that brings us to the second point. So
So-
we dug a little bit deeper today.
I put out a call to somebody that I know that can check on things like this.
Who
for me.
has access to this?
Yes, who has access to this. The gentleman, this is all alleged, the gentleman that collected 320 signatures, and most of them were fraudulent,
Well,
in my opinion, just got out of prison December 2025 and is currently on parole. Therefore, he cannot
And
collect
he was
signatures.
convicted of a felony.
Yes, he is a felon.
He's a convicted felon
He cannot vote,
who-
therefore he could not collect signatures.
who was released from prison in December of 25. Now we understand, and this we don't know, because we do know that felons can have their voting privileges reinstated.
However, they cannot, that I know where it is. State statute governing felony disenfranchisement and restoration to voting rights. The Wisconsin statutes disqualifying from voting any person convicted of a felony. A person is ineligible to vote until he or she is pardoned for the crime, or until he or she completes his or her sentence, including any term of imprisonment, extended supervision, parole, or probation for the crime that led to the disqualification. I'm not going to read the rest.
So again,
Now, his original sentence, he was sentenced in 2018, 2 years prison for intentionally pointing a firearm at a law enforcement officer, etc. 2 years extended. That runs concurrent. Possession firearm convicted of a felony, 4 years prison consecutive, same conditions, 4 years extended. 12 months for possession of narcotics in a house of correction to run concurrent. So basically, 4 years in, 2 years out. He just got out December 2025. So he cannot get those voting rights restored until he's either pardoned or off papers. In other words, he has 2 years parole, that he has to complete first.
So folks, had we known this when we filed the complaint,
Yep.
I can assure you that Miss Werner would
not
be on the ballot because they would have had to have thrown out 320 signatures. Many of them sketchy, as
And
Ann Jacobs said. Sketchy.
Every
papers.
single one of them was the same gentleman. This
And
is all our speculation.
What we can verify is
Yes.
that the prison term and the probation, we got that from a very reliable source that we're not going to disclose.
No, I absolutely will not.
But based on name, birth date, and address.
Yep.
So for anybody who wants to say, well, maybe there's somebody with the same name, they would also have to share the same birth date
And the
and
same
lived
address.
at the same address.
Which, by the way, that address is the same address that's on those papers.
Touche. Anyway, folks, this is a hot mess. This problem that we have with WEC,
Finish your sentence. We have a hand up.
with what WEC is doing, we have to hold them accountable for this. We can't allow them to just rubber stamp people through and decide what rules and laws they're going to ignore and which ones they're not. Because why have the laws? Why have the rules if we're not going to follow them?
And why did they have Harry Waite convicted? Go ahead to the people's governor. You have the floor.
What you just said, Scott, is exactly why I wanted to speak for a second here. I don't think you have any choice. The work you did was extraordinary, and you have the WEC in the crosshairs of scrutiny right now on the highly subjective manner in which they approve these forms. It's all subjective, and that's crap. You have evidence that this guy was a felon. I think you should resubmit another complaint. I don't give a crap about the deadlines. Submit another complaint and add this element to your expression and put them in a place where they have to answer to this, because just like my vote, which is fraudulent and hackable and manipulatable, this process stinks too. And it all emanates out of the same organization, the WEC. I think they would have trouble going to the bathroom by themselves if they didn't have help from some of their fellow workers there. I mean, it's like Keystone Cops on steroids down there. So I would ask that you would file another complaint anyway. Don't care about deadlines. Just say, and additionally to my previous complaint, further information has been revealed. This is very concerning, and this is a problem for WEC. What say you? Put it on them and make them answer to it. Thank you for your time.
Great point.
Absolutely. And thank you, Tim. And I may just do that because I'm gonna turn the camera on for one more second, folks, because if you weren't here earlier,
Yeah, we don't want to watch or look at her anyway.
You don't want to
No.
look at Ann Jacobs anymore?
No.
Oh, let me keep talking, Red, so it doesn't go dead here.
I just didn't want to look at her face anymore. That's all.
This is what 2 challenges look like. You know
Yep.
how much time went into that?
Well, and mind you, this is how much. This right here is just the papers from the felon.
Okay, got this? This is someone who's a registered felon, still on
It's
parole.
on parole.
320 signatures approved by WEC.
Admitted on camera, on record by Ann Jacobs.
That they look sketchy. They look sketchy. Everything about WEC is sketchy, if you ask me. And I'm quite honestly, Red, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off.
I am.
I'm pissed off because it's because of people like WEC who couldn't put the same guidelines in to protect our absentee ballots that they do for us to look at the nomination papers. And when Harry exposed that, they locked them. They didn't lock him up. They charged him with a felony and convict him of a felony.
They wanted to lock him up for 90 days.
And it pisses me off.
Absolutely.
So I think.
So when you expose the corruption, they tried to put you in jail, in prison. But if you're just gonna not want to get rid of WEC, if you're elected, they keep you on the ballot and push you through.
Or you are the corruption, and you have 320 signatures, and we showed one page.
And I printed off every single one of his pages.
So I'm just a little. Maybe I'm going to take the People's Governor advice and file a follow-up challenge.
Absolutely.
And make them squirm a little bit and go, uh-oh, what did we do?
Yep.
They're still haggling over. Today they were going through it again today.
Well, they were going through Congress.
What congressional candidates did not meet the criteria.
So we're going to go back to that handwriting analysis guy. We don't even really need to be honest, because the guy's a felon. He shouldn't have been doing it in the first place.
Yeah, on that alone.
So technically speaking, we don't have to pay anybody. But if they want to push it, I'll come up with the money and pay the guy and have him testify for us.
Absolutely. And folks, I don't know, if anybody else has a comment, I should turn that camera off so they don't have to look at us red anymore. If anybody has anything they want to add to tonight's conversation, I know we kind of went off here and didn't give you a lot of time to speak tonight. And if anybody's got any concerns, and when you're out there and you see these people on the campaign, nail them down. Ask him when you see someone like Nate Polnow who
ask him if he knows how to spell secretary.
Who runs around the state throwing Jay Schrader and Braden Meyer under the bus and telling
which he did today, by the way,
telling them they're a bunch of wackos who want to get rid of WEC. And now I sound like Elmer Fudd.
And that you need to have machines because we just cannot count them by hand. Which, by the way, Peter Berniger posted today. I gotta remember what country it was.
But pin him down on
I can't find it right now.
Here's the paper, folks. Over 2,000 violations that would have wiped out every one of his damn signatures.
And he only needed 86, and that would have brought him down way below 86.
If we had somebody at WEC with a set of stones like Harry Waite is running with,
yep,
they would have said, you know what, he violated. He didn't stick to law when he filled out these forms.
He didn't stick to the rules.
And let's throw them all out, whether or not he was the RPW endorsed candidate or not.
Right.
He doesn't deserve to be on the ballot because he can't follow the rules.
Nope.
And I'm sorry, I'm sticking to that. I don't care how ticky-tacky I sound. He shouldn't be on the ballot. He shouldn't be one of our choices. We need people in there that can follow the laws that are in place. And simple tasks.
Enforce the laws.
I don't know what you read, and I think the listeners will agree. We want someone capable in the Secretary of State's role who
does
at the very least,
we
can all fat finger something. I misspell things once in a while, but you know what proofreading does? It allows you to go back and correct the mistakes that a fat finger can do.
Yep.
Instead of continuing to print off these papers with secretary, the job you're seeking spelled wrong.
Right.
Oh, it was just a fat finger. And then WEC buys it. Oh, well, he just missed an R.
Yeah. He just missed an R. Oh, gee. Doesn't he have an R? Was he saving that little R for behind his name on the ballot?
Anyway, Red, I don't know. We talked too much and nobody had a an opportunity to speak tonight, but this last opportunity for anybody to chime in if they've got anything they want to say. Otherwise,
Yes, he does have a very flippant attitude, someone says in the backstage. Because, like I said, tonight, I can't remember what county it is, they did a grand opening for their GOP office, and he's standing there bashing Jay Schrader and
Braden Meyer
Braden Meyer
at the grand opening,
at the grand opening.
and the county party said, "Well,
Saying
now
they don't know what that job entails.
now that
Remember that,
they know how to spell it, but they don't know what that job entails."
right?
But that same county party said to him, and we've got this on good information too, somebody who was at the grand opening.
Right.
He said, the county party said, now that you're the RPW
Endorsed candidate,
we're here for you. Anything you need.
Yep. We're basically at your beck and call.
Yep. So there we go, folks. Tim Rampton has his hand raised. Go ahead, Tim.
I just wanted to comment that an individual like Polnow, who rips on other candidates running for the same seat, he's doing it out of fear.
Yep.
And the thing that the people have to tune in on is when someone does that and they don't speak about what they'll do in the role, that's a key reason why you don't vote for that. So in my humble opinion, if I would have witnessed his behavior, of course I would have checked him on it, but I also would let everybody know that that's a disqualifier. You run for office to make a difference, to add value, to affect change, to raise the bar, to exceed expectation. You talk about those things. You don't throw other people under the bus who might have the same desire. Give them a chance, and we'll find out, right? But when you come out and bash like that, you're doing it out of fear, and you're doing it because you're weak.
Yep.
And he should be held accountable by not being voted for. So for this party to say we're behind you, that's part of the problem with this process as well. We have so many sheeple lined up everywhere in this process, from signature petitions all the way through to election day. And a lot of them emanate out of these county parties where they're misled and crap's blowing up their butt every day of the week on how they're supposed to act and behave for the party, for the good of the party. Let's vote for the bonehead, right? I mean, that's what they're doing. It's all crap. Anyway.
It was Ozaki County.
It is
tonight.
It is all crap, Tim. You are so right. And I'm sick of wallowing around in the crap that they want to keep feeding us. And folks, I touched on it at the beginning of the show, why we even began to look at nomination papers. And it won't be tomorrow because we have a really special guest tomorrow. But, maybe next week we're going to hit on what happened at the county level that triggered us to look at these nomination papers and call out chairs like Scott Bolstad, who are just doing it wrong. And that's another thing. All of his signatures should have been thrown out because once he collected, you can only collect on behalf of one candidate. And when he did it for the same candidate in the same day, anything beyond that should have been invalid signatures. And that was in my challenge as well.
Yes, and come to think of it, some of those signatures were thrown out because of that very reason.
Yeah, they were
because he did it for Jay Schrader the same day that he did it for Nate. Those signatures were tossed.
That was a part of 189 they actually allowed out of the 2,000 and whatever. Anyway, enough is enough, Red. We got to shut up and stop wasting people's time because
we have a republic to save.
We truly do.
Definitely.
We truly do. Was there something else you wanted to say?
No, but I seen Mr. Rantham's microphone was on before you started saying that. Do you still want to speak, Tim?
No, I need you to follow up with a subsequent complaint about the felon. And thank you very much for the show tonight and your comments regarding the injustices that continue to prevail in our society because they're allowed to. And it's people like you who stand right there in the center and fight to make the difference. I don't think our society's ready for truth.
I don't think so
they're
either.
ready. I don't think they're ready for the real deal because they haven't been punished enough by being stupid. We're about to find out. Thank you.
We are, Tim. We are about to find out, and boy, I'm right there with you. There's a lot of stupid sheeple running around, and I don't know if people are just so caught up in their lives that they can't think for themselves, or if they've just been conditioned to just believe whatever the crap, whatever the hell they've been told.
Media tells you, or the endorsed candidates, so they must be right. No, nowadays, for the last 6 years, you're the endorsed candidate, I run away.
So I'll say this much, folks. I don't, at this point, I'm not committed to endorsing either of the two that I believe deserve it, but I'm going to tell you, Braden Meyer and Jay Schrader, if you don't vote for one of those two people, you're voting for more of the same BS that we've had for years, and it's time to put an end to this. And I will be following a follow-up challenge to WEC based on a felon.
Yep.
Collecting 320 signatures, and we'll see what happens. We'll roll the dice. If nothing else, maybe we can get Ann Jacobs to say, well, that's sketchy.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, mind you, she's an attorney, and I'm thinking when she said that, she was going to vote against it and not allow it. So that shows me that she thinks something sketchy, she's going to be okay to bring it into a court of law.
We'll see.
Because
anyway,
she's not the expert.
Red, we're back tomorrow night with a big show. We're not going to disclose our guest, but people, you want to tune in, because this one with
a pail next to you, trust me, you're going to get sick to your stomach.
This one might make you sick to your stomach. It might piss you off. Your blood pressure is going to go up. But please join us 8 p.m. tomorrow night for Tin Hat Thursday right here on rippinrabbithole.com.
Or Rumble, or YouTube.
Yes.
And then back on Friday with AJ, the Rippin' Rabbit.
Another episode of Rippin' Rabbit Hole Live. And Sundays,
10:30, backstage only.
Not recorded. Bible study, 2 or more gathered.
And we're still in John.
Yes,
and
we are.
I tell you, it's been amazing.
It has. All right, folks, let's go.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
See you tomorrow night.
Freedom's crackling everywhere. Every voice matters. Every voice tears.